Texas Chainsaw Massacre isn't happening. Michael Myers and Jason don't exist. There is no Freddy Krueger. There's no Chucky. There is none of that stuff. What's up? How you doing? Welcome back to A Moment of Clarity with yours truly, Aaron Thompson. I'm excited that you're with me, but you know my question. Did you give this to 3 people? Did you bring somebody with you? Did you put the big fella to work? All right. You know we are here all about business and helping overthinkers and perfectionists take the next step in the direction of their goals and dreams, building clarity, building confidence, and ending the cycle of self-doubt and frustration. All right. This is why we're here. So the thought I want us to kind of wrestle with today, I want us to start with this kind of story, something that we can land on together. And what I want you to think through is those of us who've watched scary movies. Yeah. Maybe your favorite movie is Freddy Krueger with the nails and the knives. Maybe it's Jason and Michael Myers. Maybe it isn't a scary movie at all. Maybe it could be, when you were younger, there was something about the movie that scared you. Maybe, for me, I'll tell the truth. I used to be scared of the Wicked Witch of the West. And what was that? Wizard of Oz. I used to be scared of that. Let's just be honest. Like there's certain things in movies you've seen like, ooh. It's why they set those movies and suspense movies up to get you to jump and oh my goodness, right? To get you to do all of that stuff where it's a story that's playing on in your mind. But guess what? When you walk outside, Texas Chainsaw Massacre isn't happening. Michael Myers and Jason don't exist. There is no Freddy Krueger. There's no Chucky. There is none of that stuff. But the story that they brought into your imagination, into your mind, there's no way while you were watching that you couldn't say that emotion wasn't real. Your mind knew that thing was real. And yeah, here's what happens is when we introduce into our minds and our imaginations, like they do in scary movies, the fear of messing up, the fear of loss, the fear of fill in the blank, it then becomes real. It then becomes our reality that we can't get outside of what's in our heads because what's in our heads is so terrifying that we just want to stay put and be safe. I remember seeing some of those scary movies afterwards. I didn't actually want to go into any room at night that didn't have the lights on because I thought somebody might get me. Go by the window and see somebody outside the window. Because your mind is now creating a scenario that makes your body and all your emotions believe that it's real. But here's the one thing I'll tell you, action conquers fear. It sure does. And every time that I made a decision to flick the lights on, wasn't nobody there. Every time I made a decision to look out the window when I was nervous, wasn't nobody there. But action conquers fear. So here's what I want us to talk through. I want to talk through 3 things, right? About how action conquers fear and how we can get ourselves in motion, all right? So the first thing, right? One of the reasons why you first have to take action is because it's actually all in your mind. You got to take action because it's all in your mind. But your mind does not know the beauty and the brilliance of this computer that technology has been trying to figure out how to duplicate, and they can't figure out your brilliance. They can't figure out my brilliance. They keep trying to create computers to figure out all the things that we naturally do. But when you have got it fixated in here, it's real. But I'm telling you, the thing that you're fearful of, the opinion of people that you're worried about, that mistake that you're worried, all those things fearful. Please understand, trust, know, and believe me and hear me clear. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. And because it's all in your mind, you will continue to stay there because the human body can't differentiate between what's imaginatory or what you're actually experiencing. So the first reason why you need to take action is because it's all in your mind. Second reason, I was getting ready to go 3, too early. Second reason you need to take action is because you need to get a new story. Yeah, you need to get a new story. because some of your fears are based on the fact that you messed up. Some of your fears are based on the fact that you made a mistake. That's okay. But the mistake that you made in the past doesn't have to be the one that you make in the future. But as long as you continue to stay fearful, you will continue to repeat the same cycle of fear and mistake making ever. So you got to get a new story. And the only way you write a new story is to do new action, is to take some new action. That's the second reason why why taking action is important, because we know that action conquers fear. The third reason that you need to take action is because after you take action, the reality will actually be safer than your mind. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? You know, that conversation that you're worried about having, that you've gone through 1,000 different scenarios on what could be, what couldn't be, how it might happen, and everything else that you working yourself up about? But when you actually had the conversation, it wasn't what you thought it was. The reality was way safer than what was in your mind. Yeah, you know that you know that job that you thought you might be a little bit underqualified for, that maybe, you know, they weren't, that your boss might not be thinking about you for it and everything else. But when you finally went and said, "Hey, Bob, what about, you know, considering me for that?" "Oh, we would love to consider you. We didn't think you were interested." See? The reality after taking action actually is safer than your mind. That's crazy, ain't it? That the reality is safer than your mind. It's almost like you're punching through a paper wall. Think about it like tissue paper, right? The stuff that we put in gifts and everything else, but if you pull it, it rips pretty easy. The things that are going on in your mind right now are just as flimsy and as thin as that tissue paper. And you wanna know why? Because overthinkers, perfectionists make tissue paper into a vault. It's only tissue paper. Go ahead and break through it. You know why you need to take action? You know why you need to make it happen? It's the three things that we've already talked about. One, you got to get outside of your head. You got to get outside of your head, because living in here is becoming a prison. Two, you got to get a new story. The only way you get a new story is by doing new things to create new memories that allow for those to reside in your mind, as opposed to the other stuff that you've been living through. Three, third reason you need to take action is because reality is actually safer than your mind. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to do this. This week, if you think about it twice, whatever it is that you haven't taken action on, I need you to take action. If you thought about it twice, I need you to take action and go get something different, because we got to get outside your head. And because we got to get outside your head, we got to start writing a new story, and we got to prove to you that it's safer in reality than it is in your mind. And that's all I want you to do. And I want you to tell me, "Hey, I thought about it twice. I took action. Here's what happened." That's what I want you to do for me this week. In the comments, in my DMs, click the book now. Tell me face to face. I would love to hear how you're overcoming this. And also do me a favor. I know you know 1, 2, or 3 someones that need to do the same thing. So give it away. Don't be selfish. Let me do the work for you, because when we get into action, we start to shut down fear and defeat it consistently, because action conquers fear. Let's get out of our minds and get into the reality of the beauty of what it is that we know that we can live in. And as we do that, remember and stay encouraged. Just because you got started on this journey, it doesn't mean that you weren't already good. So until next time, I'll see you then.